The town of Middletown was chartered on May 4th, 1794, by the Virginia Assembly, but was settled much earlier than that date. Middletown was the site of numerous military operations in the American Civil War, including the Battle of Cedar Creek, fought just south of the town. The battlefield has been protected as part of the Cedar Creek and Bell Grove National Historical Park. The Wayside Inn started as a small tavern, built in the 1740s by Mr. Israel Wilkinson, and was first named Wilkinson's Tavern. It was a popular stagecoach stop on the Valley Pike Toll Road and graced a number of famous guests, including Eleanor Roosevelt. It has seen its share of history, tragedy, and paranormal activity. The inn is still in operation today as the Wayside Inn and Restaurant and is the oldest continuously operating inn in the country. We will feature the owner and operator, Miss Becky Reeves, who will tell us about her experiences with the inn. We will present you with a personal tour of the inn and finish up with detecting in its manicured lawn. Will we find a ghost, a good story, or artifacts that are of the period? Stay tuned. Today we are detecting a very famous place in Middletown, Virginia. This place is called the Wayside Inn. I've got an exciting video coming up, an exciting dig that's going to be associated with this. And I am going to introduce the owner, but I'm going to first introduce the gentleman who invited me on this permission. So this here is Dennis Crawford, and Dennis is a fan, and he knows the owner, and we're going to do an exploration here at the inn. We're going to interview the owner, and we're going to do a dig around the building here. We don't have a lot of property to dig, right? So don't know what we'll find, but whatever we find, you guys will see. So are you guys ready to get started? Oh. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Gabriel. This is Gabriel, his grandson. He's going to join us today, and he's learning about the detector and metal detecting too. So let's get started. Wow, this is beautiful. All right, we just entered the Wayside Inn, and we are going to be introduced to the owner of this inn. Hello.
How are you?
Good. My name's Todd. I'm with the Appalachian History Detectives. And why don't you tell us your name and how you got associated with the property, maybe what this house and this inn is all about, who stayed here, a little bit of the history.
Okay.
So Becky, why don't you tell us about the Wayside Inn?
Okay. The inn's origins were dating back all the way to 1740s. We have an area that we'll show you a little later that's just one brick room that has a loft overhead. It was built in the 1740s, and then there was a large addition put on in the 1797 period. We're in the middle of that right now. It was 3 rooms wide and just 1 room deep, and then there were rooms upstairs too.
Any famous people stay here?
I was giving a little nickel tour one time to some people that were history buffs, Civil War group, and in this old 1700s part, a lady said, "I'm reading a biography of George Washington, and it sounds like he stayed here when he was 16." So anyway, she said that he mentions bedding down a horse and getting a bowl of beans or stew or something, and then they gave him a blanket and they went upstairs to the loft to sleep. If we have a plaque now, we're going to have to say George Washington slept here, so we're going to skip the plaque altogether. The only person that we have signed signature for is Eleanor Roosevelt. There's a picture of Jubal Early staying in our room number 1.
Oh, wow.
But that's
and,
pretty cool.
And we're really close to Cedar Creek battlefield. Right. So it's right down the road here. Right. A lot of Civil War activity here, a lot of troop movement. And Jubal Early's headquarters was just down below, is it Fishersville? Or? Yep. So, yeah, I can imagine with this being a prominent landmark in the town here that it would draw and attract.
From both sides, actually, and the tales are that people from both sides would be here having a pint some night after a war and just relaxing and settling out, and some people staying here, obviously, but then going back to business the next day. So we have a lot of tales of people like Tom Cruise and Paul Newman, and Shania Twain was here, and
wow,
who's the ice skater lady that was so good, Dorothy Hamill. A lot of people through here, and this being the Old Valley Pike and a main thoroughfare for the whole valley, pretty much anybody that was heading north to south in Virginia had to be passing through this way. I think one of the best things about this place are the coincidences and the meetings that people have, and the connections to a lot of people for many, many, many years.
Okay, we are in the 1740s portion or part of the inn. It's really unique, beautiful artifacts in the house. So I'm going to show you guys this, and we're going to walk with Becky into the interior room here, and it's like a building within a building. You can see the old lintel, and you can see how it actually angles down. So the brick over here is about an inch or two smaller than the brick over here. So probably handmade brick. I would say that this is all handmade. This was all built in the 1740s. And you can see some of the repurposed wood up there. I don't know what the pegs are for, but I would say that these are probably repurposed beams. And you got some artifacts here. Ice pick to pick up ice is typically what I would say that is. And then an oxen yoke. So let's go in here. Now this really does look like an old tavern.
This does, doesn't it? And this is our favorite dining room. We just call it the Colonial kitchen. So this is the only room that I have been able to have any kind of a paranormal experience. I'm not sensitive, but a lot of people come to visit specifically for the paranormal aspects of the building. But the one thing that happens to me, and I can just pretty much count on it, is if I leave my camera open on my phone, for instance, for 30 minutes and take a picture of Dennis or his grandson or something like that. I said 30 minutes, but I meant 30 seconds. Pretty soon you'll see orbs shooting. And you may very well get some orbs on your video. It's nothing I ever see, but sometimes they're like the 4th of July, and other times you just see one kind of mosey across the screen. But it's always consistent. We have a picture of a bride standing here that somebody took that has a shape of a lady standing beside her with like her arm inside of her arm. And and people have said they have shown us pictures of what they believe is a cat here and other things. So this is a very fun room, and our favorite dining room.
So if you guys see something in the video, if I see something in the video, I'll zoom in on that. Maybe the spirit of George Washington or Jubal Early, or who knows with all the people that have been in here, who knows who it could be. But that's interesting.
Yeah. The place is a real treasure hunt. Some of these, like pieces of pottery and stuff, I've added, but all of these older things that Todd's pointed out were things that were here. We bought the inn furnished almost 7 years ago now.
Wow.
And these things were already here.
That's probably an original door coming in.
I bet that was the door, yes. Yep. And this would have been added later.
Yep.
And of course, it had a big window like that.
I'd say that's the original door there.
Changes made.
Very, very interesting. It's just unique and just amazing history. Yeah, so explain this. This is beautiful.
Isn't this fun?
I'm gonna let you guys see this. This is absolutely
This is a good
fantastic.
place for your phone, and actually I should have brought mine so I could be pointing stuff out to you.
Yeah, I mean this is all carved, wood carved.
Yes, my favorite.
A three-dimensional,
Like a diorama?
yeah, diorama.
Well, I've read this little piece here, and you probably want to get a picture of that 6, 8 times, and I still don't know what it says. But basically, it says something like this is depicting people going to the Crusades in between the 12th and 15th century. And they say it's off of an island in France that
I don't know if you guys can
basically
see
that's
this.
it. Well, we had an art historian in here one time just as a guest, and he said, "Oh no, it's much newer than 15th century." And he was saying that there are certain things that are telltale, like on this one horse that's just right up there. See where he has the drum on the side?
Yep.
That would have been 16th century. And the same thing with some of the ladies' garb. Some of the bonnets or something was more 16th century. So he thinks it's a 16th century piece. And I said, "Oh, that new." Oh yeah.
It's like 1500s.
But,
Wow.
but look at the can you see the the animals, or the lions and all that on the guy's banner? And these banners,
yeah, I do.
The fringes,
I see that. You guys
and
see
the
that?
fringe is actually fabric. Look at this one. That's a Habsburg eagle.
Man, I wonder how it got here.
Yeah. Mr. Bernstein was a collector of all kinds of things, and he'd go to Europe every once in a while. I bet he picked this up over there. I'm going to come back to this little horse blanket here in a minute, but look at the color on this piece. Look at how brilliant that blue is. I bet this was just
And
some
the gold.
towns.
Look
Yeah.
at the gold gilt.
Some towns really
Gilt.
really big deal painting, But they have things like this little animal here with the boy. I guess it's a goat.
Yeah,
Maybe
or a
it's a dog, but with a little bobtail. And up in the church part, you can see the statue of somebody with a Bible or a hymn. There's
stained
writing.
glass.
There's writing on this bridge.
It says
in
victory.
English.
It's really amazing. I mean, it's just
Isn't it
amazing.
the little icon and then the little mile marker here? I mean, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I thought this big thing in the middle was just a blob. But look at that. That's a town
Like a scene.
statue, and people are
Yeah.
watching the parade and how much detail there is. The art historian was just amazed at the faces and all on these things, saying that
But yeah, look at
probably
the
they
face
were
on that.
carved after people that the artist knew. And then look at the century up on the castle wall. You hardly notice him when it's just held together by dust and dirt.
Yeah.
And the picture of the horses and how lively they look and all. It's just a wonderful piece. I'd love to have somebody that could restore it and found yet. There's a bird cage in here. And if you look up above this little building, you can see a bird cage, and there
right
are
there.
3 birds in it,
Yeah.
3 or 4. And this little girl.
Hopefully you guys can see this. I mean, it's we're trying to capture it. I'm only using my camera phone. The detail's exquisite. I mean, 500 or 600 years old. It's just amazing to me that something like this would survive.
Yeah.
And here in the United States.
I have to save some place
water
to
right
be
there.
in.
Okay, I got to show you guys. There is an old well actually in the house, and this well dates back into the 1700s as well. And what you don't see is, or what I'm going to show and point out, these are old wood planks. I can see some old square nails in there. So it's pre-1880. And I would say, is that pine or oak? I would say that's oak because that doesn't look so much like
When I
pine.
don't know, I call it tree wood.
Tree wood, but
That's tree wood. I
I don't know if you guys can see down, but holy cow, there's water down there.
The pretty part that dates to the 1700s is the really smooth, beautiful work. The part on the top that you see was done in 2004 by somebody who paid less attention to detail than the guys who built that.
That is amazing. I mean, That's down probably 45, 50 feet.
Yeah, it's about, you call it about right. It's about 23 feet to the surface of the water and about another 23 feet down. And one time we had some folks from North Dakota here that were working on solar powering these water towers around here to keep the water stirred up. And they asked if they could go down. We were dying to know what was going on down here because we'd been told by some local people that there was a passageway, an underground passageway between this and that old 1740's room. And so we're all excited. So they strap up and lower themselves down, and there is no passageway, so we were pretty bummed about that. But then they had a submersible camera, and we thought, okay, we're going to find coins and candlesticks and bones, all kinds of good. Nothing. We
Nothing
found
at all.
one flathead nail and one sheetrock screw that probably fell in there in 2004.
Amazing.
So
It's very interesting. All right, you guys, we are in Jubal Early's bedroom. The time he spent here going through Middletown, which is just right outside Cedar Creek Battlefield. This is the room that he stayed in. I'll just give you a little panoramic. You can see up here, you can still see the marks of I call it an adze. It's probably a different kind of tool. You can see the beam up here, the hand-hewed beam. I'm sure this bed is not the same bed, but man, look how stately and ornate this is. Look at that. It's a canopy bed, and it's got a huge wood canopy on top of that. Isn't that incredible? And so we have a fireplace here. And this part here was built in 1840.
Anybody can come stay here too.
And anybody can come stay here. And if you guys see any spooks or ghosts in my video, let me know. Okay, I've got it in Pro 0, Iron Discriminate 0. I'm 2 down from the top. I figure it's going to be a lot of iron. We're going to start out right here. Dennis and Gabriel are already starting. And we're going to... Okay, there's a mid-tone right there. We'll come dig this. Let's see. There's another mid-tone right there. We'll come dig that. It's probably aluminum. Here's a lot. Right there. A lot of mid-tones in here. We'll come in here and start digging some of this. And we'll see what we find. Alright. So we've got here, this is a mid-tone. It's about 46 to 53. And I think it's probably aluminum. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. I don't know what this is yet. I don't know. We'll have to keep going. I don't know what that is. So far, we have been finding nothing but aluminum. And with us being right in the city, let me pull you guys over here. It's a mid-tone, probably aluminum. That's pretty much all we're finding so far. Let's see. You guys see it? Let's see. All right, there. And this has been a sign of our day right there. Maybe a little bit further out here. Let's try that. I think that's it. I think it's just aluminum trash. There it is. Just more aluminum trash. All right, let's keep going. Okay, I don't know if you can see it right here. Looks like it could be a pulley, but this is the first item that I have found that hasn't been aluminum. So let's see what this is. Man, it looks like a huge tent grommet. Is that what that is? A huge tent grommet? I don't think that's old. They have wedding events here, and they have huge tents here, and I think that is what this is from. But that's a hopeful sign. At least we're finding something other than aluminum trash. So let's just keep going. All right, well, is it Civil War? What do we got here? It looks like maybe an old Bic lighter. It's one of the only two things that I've found so far that is not aluminum. But it read a solid 86. I was hoping for something in the copper coin range, but that is an old Bic lighter. Probably got a name right there. Yeah, there we go. You guys see the name? It is a Storm King. So we had a Storm King Bic lighter. So it still works. All right, let's keep going. Okay, it's right in here. Let's take a look. Oh, I see it. I see it. Just junk. It read an 87 though, so it read high. All right, I found the nickel. Let's see if it's a wartime nickel. It is. Found a nickel, I just don't know what year it is yet.
Oh, really?
Yep. Need my reading glasses. Well, son, you got better eyes than I got. Tell me what year that nickel is. Is it a modern or an older nickel?
Tell by the back it was old.
Yeah, it's a Monticello, but it could be a 42 or.
Oh, it's really hard to see.
It's hard.
Yeah. You can barely see the number on that.
We used to have a toothbrush in there, but I don't think.
Okay, this is a 1951 5-cent piece. Would have been better if it were about 10 years earlier, but you know what? This is the first.
Good find.
Okay, I just dug this little doodad. What is it? I thought it might be a square nail, and it still could be. It is square. See that? It is square. But look at that. That has been. I think that has been intentionally made like that, almost like a fish hook. That's probably the oldest thing I have found so far today. It's an old artifact, but I don't know what it is. Could just be a bent nail, bent square nail. Looks awfully like it's been made that way. Can you see that? All right, let's keep going. I thought it was a square nail, but I don't believe it is. See how this is angled back right there? It is square. Okay, now this is just an old iron artifact. But here is something else I found in this hole. See this? Look. That's coal. That's coal. And that tells me that there could be an old home site right in here somewhere. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to go around here. Let's see, there's Dennis back over there. I don't know where his grandson is. But I'm going to take some time around here, and I'm going to go nice and slow right here. There could be an old homestead right here. All right, what you got there?
It's nothing. I have no idea.
But it's not aluminum. Actually, I know exactly what this is.
Really?
Yep. This is a cover for an electrical outlet.
Wow. You good.
I told Dennis I think there was a building right here. I mean, you can clearly, if you're here, you can see an outline right here. It goes this way here, and it goes that way. So there was a building that sat right here. Now this he found right over there. It wasn't where the building sat, but I've hit a lot. There's a lot of iron and just a lot of trash and garbage in the ground right here. And I think that is from that.
It's gold.
It's gold. I wish it were, trust me. All right, Gabriel's here beside me, and he found something that's old. Yep, that is a chisel. I think that's a chisel. It's too small to be a railroad spike. But I do believe that is a chisel. And I told Gabriel and I told Dennis that I believe a building sat here. So that could have come out of the old shed building that sat right in this location.
Definitely could have.
Yep, at least it's old. We haven't really found a lot of old stuff here. And we're surprised by it. But with this being a restaurant venue, let me pull you guys out so you can see me. There's just a lot of aluminum in this ground here, and it's because they do catered dinners here. And a lot of that is just really masking anything older that's deeper. So I'm not sure if we'll find anything here really from the Civil War or even in the 1800s. Now, that could be, that could be 1800s. I have no doubt that is. And I think it's a chisel. And so we'll keep going. All right, folks, I'm here with Dennis, and here's Dennis. His grandson Gabriel went over to get a drink of water. We're gonna call it the day. We haven't found really anything much more than can slaw and aluminum. Would you agree?
I agree.
I agree. So we had high hopes for this place. It wasn't a big yard, it wasn't a big lot. And they have, like I said in earlier clips, they do a lot of wedding venues here. So we found a lot of modern trash from that. Bottle caps. But his grandson went over to get something to drink, but I wanted to show you guys what he found. He said he found something that had the name, what, gas on the top of it. So Dennis and I thought we'd come over and investigate. We'll let you guys take a look.
Should we call the fire department?
You guys think he'll ever get to the bottom of this? It looks like a gas pipe, and he'll never dig this out. He'll never get to the end of that. But what I told Dennis is, if this is where the top of the soil was when they put this in, I mean, there's 8 inches of soil here, and that might be one of the reasons why we have not been able to find or get down to the old artifacts layer. But we thought it was funny. We came over here and we saw that. We thought it was funny because we knew he found a pipe stub or a standpipe, gas standpipe, and he will never get to the bottom of that and dig that thing up. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to break the news to him when we get back and see him. we're going to head back to the vehicle. We're going to do a wrap up and hit the road. All right, I am here with Gabriel.
Hey.
And I am here with his grandfather, Dennis. And the Wayside Inn was Dennis's permission. He invited me out here. I'm happy that he did. I had a great day. Even though we didn't find anything from the Civil War era. In fact, we didn't find a whole lot of stuff, but we did find a lot of aluminum, can slaw. But Dennis brought some other things I want you guys to check out. And I'll show it to you here in a minute. And I'm going to show you what we found. And I'm going to show you this stuff. I want you guys to tell me what you think this is, okay? But first off, we want to tell Gabriel what he was digging up there. You guys want to tell him? You know what that was? That was a gas stub. It was a gas line. You actually hit into a main line to the house there, and you would have never been able to dig that thing up.
Yeah.
All right, so Gabriel, you found these. We were, you know, don't know what those are. We thought they might be spikes from horseshoes, but you know what? No idea. This is the trash. This is the trash that we found. A lot of it. This is the only piece of iron. I found that. Not sure what that is. I didn't film it because it was one I found right off the bat. Dennis, you mostly found that, and well, Dennis found a penny. We could not read it. It's a modern cent because it's a memorial and it's zinc. That's all. That and this is pretty much all you found, right?
Yep.
Okay, Gabriel found the wedge, which you guys have seen. You haven't seen this, and I'm not sure what that is. I thought it might be a rains guide, but honestly, I think it could have been there could have been a part down here, maybe even something like that. So that's what they found. Everything that I found is right here. You guys have already seen it, so you know, none of us did very well, but we had fun. And now I'm going to show you guys. Dennis is an old timer. He's an old time metal detectorist, and we are close to a number of battlefields here, and I'm going to show you some of the things that he found that he brought to show me. So I want to show you guys because he doesn't know what they are, some of it, and I don't know what it is. But I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. This thing is full of Civil War bullets that he has dug up. And you said that you got these right up the road, right? Clearbrook area. And there's probably over 100 in there. But he also found these. If you guys know what these are, and he dug these up in the same spots. Okay, so Dennis, you told me what you thought these are. You want to tell us what you think these are, so my fans...
I think it's just lead they carry to melt down to make their bullets.
Like lead ingots.
That's the only thing I can figure.
So what he thinks these are pieces of lead molds that they would carry with them, and then when they would sit around the campfire talking about the battle of the day, they would actually melt these and make bullets out of them. So I mean, his guess is as good as anyone else's, and it's probably right on. But if you guys know what these are, and he's got a number of them in here too, but if you guys know what these are, please let us know. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry we didn't find anything that would be of great quality, excellent quality, but we have fun. Did you have fun, Dennis?
Yes, I did.
You had fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed the Wayside Inn. It's a beautiful place. If you're ever in this part of Virginia, the Shenandoah Valley, we are very, very close to the Cedar Creek battlefield. And there's a lot of Civil War activity here. We just did not find it here. And stop in. Yeah, absolutely stop in. It's like a bed and breakfast. There's a lot of history associated with this place. And they have a great restaurant. So Thanks for joining us this episode, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.